Good morning, good afternoon to you and to everybody kind of watching. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm Alex Siskos, Senior Vice President of Strategy at Everseen. I'm on my 8th year with the company, believe it or not. I'm part of our customer success team. My job focuses on three things: strategic retail accounts, the core partnerships that enable those accounts, the likes of like cloud, GPU, OEM providers, and then the proprietary thought leadership that we put out that surrounds shrink management, associate and customer experience, for that matter, inventory. I'll say this as an intro to kind of Everseen, right? Having come from an introduction or a background in consulting with Accenture, followed up with my time at Walgreens as a retail operator, and then involved in Nielsen, Crossmark, and then most recently Blue Yonder when it came down to advanced analytics and machine learning. Everseen is that feather in my cap that I describe as the instant gratification. I get to place a camera on a critical retail process, a scene that matters the most, and when I can see a process breaking down, I can engage real time to actually offer corrective action, right? That is why I call it instant gratification, and I'm loving every minute of it. So enough about me. Let me tell you a little bit about Everseen and our history. Company was founded in 2008, and it had a bold vision: help retailers solve some of their most complex operational challenges with cutting-edge AI and computer vision technology. What started as a mission to just tackle shrink at self-checkout has evolved in us looking at the AI-powered platform of computer vision that helps transform end-to-end total store operations, every critical business process, where if we had a set of eyes looking onto that, we could actually have corrective action in the moment that matters the most. I will tell you this, and you and I have talked about this in the past. For us, it was never about being just a shrink mitigation tool. It was always about looking for the root causes of retail loss, whether that was shrink due to theft, whether that is shrink due to waste, accident, or error. This is the way that we can basically be present and vigilant and recover that loss and safeguard the product and the people and the process and as we're kind of like breaking that all apart, right? So whether it's a red actor misbehaving at the front of the store, if it's a DSD vendor missing something critical during a delivery, or an associate that can do something better the next time around, all of it ties into the end customer experience, right? So end to end, across the total estate, through the entire day in the life of a product. I'm proud to say that our technology today is in 11 out of the top 20 global retailers. We're deployed in over 8,600 stores. We're in 120,000 endpoints and counting. An endpoint is the front checkouts, it's an aisle, it's the back room. And we're seeing more than 220 million products every single day. And every one of those visible moments allow us to basically recover millions upon millions of dollars in losses and improve the efficiency of our associates and the customer experience at the end of the day. Everseen's Visual AI platform leverages advanced computer vision to analyze in-store activities in real time, critical business processes across the total estate. Our solutions monitor checkout lanes, the self-checkout lanes, the staff lanes, front-end operations, back of house, and what's happening in line or in aisle on the shop floor to provide the retailers with actionable information. And what do I mean by that? What is the next best action they can take that drives efficiency, that drives profitability? To use the front checkout as an example, and we might actually be playing a video while I'm talking about this, we detect shrink during a transaction in the desire to detect and reduce that while streamlining the entire checkout process and providing a frictionless experience for the customer. Beyond loss prevention, we deliver measurable improvement in efficiency and effectiveness of the labor in the store, how they're managing the bullpen and corral, right, of the self-checkout, how basically replenishment of product is happening in line at the shelf, how are we dealing with vendors that are delivering product, right, to ensure inventory, perpetual inventory accuracy, and for that matter, ultimate customer satisfaction across the board. Let me start with the back part of that sentence, right? Shrink is one of the biggest threats to retail profitability. It represents over $114 billion, I think was the last number that I saw, at a global scale. Let me say that more directly. We got $15 to $20 million going unaccounted for every $1 billion of sales that we basically generate as retailers. Everseen's AI detects that loss in real time, including intentional theft, operational errors, honest mistakes that happen, particularly at the checkout. That has been the point of the spear. That has been the technology that we've been able to identify issues at the point of occurrence and either offering the ability to a customer to self-correct or alerting an associate to resolve it. And this has dramatically reduced shrink. Our customers has recovered hundreds of millions of dollars that otherwise would have walked out of the store, left unaccounted for. And that just simply reinforces the critical role that AI has played in profit protection. Case in point, we remain till this date the only outfit that has actually completed a Forrester Total Economic Impact study, where Forrester found that we produced a 374% ROI just off of one use case, the non-scan, for our product called EverCheck that is currently protecting the front-end checkouts. Our solutions do indeed go beyond loss prevention. We looked at, like I said earlier, every key critical process in retail, and we looked at it from an operational efficiency perspective. If we assumed AI and a camera to be on top of that, we are seeking to basically reduce false alerts. If you think about it, we're trying to automate manual processes and deliver insights that help optimize staffing, inventory availability, and then, like I said earlier, the reduction of shrink, whether that is due to theft, error, accident, or mistake. Our technology can ensure that associates are deployed where they're needed the most, right? So think about some of the additional metadata that we've basically create out of our EverCheck solution. We are looking to reduce intervention fatigue, right? Not only for the customers, but also the associates. This allows you to provide a seamless experience for the customers, minimize any unnecessary friction, and allow associates to always focus on what delivers higher value. That is greeting the customer, helping the customer during their shopping trip, all that type of stuff matters, right? Our solutions, when you look at them at the shop floor, contribute to inventory accuracy, detecting scanning errors at the front of the store, right? Detecting a product that was basically removed from the shelf but never made it to the checkout. That's all about ensuring that every single item is unaccounted for at every moment during its critical life, from coming into the back room to being assorted and merchandised on the shelf, to being picked, scanned, and ultimately delivered in somebody's trunk, in somebody's pantry at home, right? We're providing a new set of data, right? Data that was otherwise in the past unstructured. We've taken what has come out of CCTVs and turned it into information that now can tell us things like time in queue, time in transaction, time it took for somebody to resolve an issue in the front of the store, the effectiveness of both the customer resolving it on their own and the associate helping them do so, right? This is data we didn't have access to before, right? And being able to surface it at the moment where you can make the decision for the next best action has effectively extended our value proposition from just shrink to self-concealment to the middle of the store, to perpetual inventory accuracy to the back of the store. We actually process over 150 million transactions a day. In terms of video, that's equivalent to us streaming video for close to 3 centuries. That's 300 years of continuous processing. We passed Meta on daily video processing, and we are set to pass YouTube that currently sees close to 6.5 petabytes of video uploaded daily. So yeah, Everseen deeply values data security and privacy. We adhere to the industry's best practices on data encryption and regulatory compliance. Our AI models undergo continuous monitoring, and are updated constantly to maintain accuracy and fairness. And we have established a comprehensive governance practice to align with evolving standards in the ethical AI use. As we work with diverse retailers, scalability and seamless integration will always be top priorities. We're now in 4 continents, and we have exposure to regional differences in AI regulation and data privacy. You can argue on the one side it's a headache, but on the other side it's a blessing, because our AI solutions are now designed to be flexible, hardware agnostic, and accommodating retailers of any size, from small local shops to massive chains anywhere across the world. We are going to support our customers with a thorough guidance. We offer remote monitoring. We constantly retrain our models. And now with our partnership with Google Cloud, we're able to ensure fast deployment while enhancing security of our solutions. The latest stat that I read is about 10%, close to 10% of this year's budget, 2025, is going to include AI projects, AI initiatives in one way or another. What's fascinating about that number is the negative number that we're actually coming out of last year with. 8 out of 10 AI projects have failed, right? And that's a number that keeps me personally up at night, right? I could tell you on Everseen's behalf that we work very hard to make our solutions designed to be flexible, scalable, and hardware agnostic. Retailers have stores that were never built for AI, right? We didn't assume 20, 30, 40 years ago that we were gonna have this moment, that we were gonna need so much networking cable, so many net new cameras, et cetera. So we make sure that we do this with our customers, not to them. One of the things that I think we've worked very hard on is to ensure that we're not bespoke, right? And so for all intents and purposes, bringing everything together in a orchestrated fashion such that the end customer sees an ecosystem of vendors coming together, the ISV provider of computer vision, utilizing the cloud, the OEM metal, the GPU silicone, the CPU that needs to be kind of used, all that coming together as a integrated, proposition. And it's not just for Everseen, it's for what the retailer wants to do in their store with AI and more specifically, computer vision. So whether you're handling a couple of 100 stores or 1,000 stores, we've figured things out in a modular fashion. May I use the expression or the analogy of Lego bricks, right? Where we can effectively start them small, but allow them to scale up and allow them to have that optionality. There's comprehensive support at a global scale. We have remote monitoring. We have continuous training of our models, like I said earlier, and we seek to keep making this seamless. Are we perfect? Hell no. We're just at the foothills of this new tech, right? We're learning alongside our customers. That transparency and what we're learning, owning up to our mistakes and being very quick to correct stuff is, I think, what has built up the trust with our customers and what has effectively allowed us that scalability, right? And I'll end with I remember when we first did one of our major 2,000 plus customers, and it took the better part of a year and some months to happen. The next one that followed with about 1,800 stores, we did it in under 4 months. We had 1 week where we did 450 stores that were rolled out, right? Once you figure this out, you can package it, and you can package it for the specifics and the manner in which a retailer can digest it. So I'm gonna say it again, we do it with them, not to them. I'm going to smile at this one because for the longest time, we could never share a name, period. You know this from your retail background. This is a piece of information that we've kept very close to our chest. What is our shrink? How much of it is happening, right? Somebody that can do the right math can reverse engineer into somebody's stock price, right? And understand what's happening. This past year, we've had retailers speaking most openly than I've ever seen in my 7 years with Everseen, for that matter, in my time in retail. Just this past August, September, Woolworths, Kohl's, and Ahold, all 3 of them came out during their 10K quarterly reports or annual reports and actually shared the contributions and what we've done and attributed directly to their P&L impact that we did that impacted the bottom line. They reported different set of, numbers, right? Anywhere from 10 basis points to 44 basis points. And you know how this industry is. Our margins are really tight. To be able to offer that level of change, right, not only shows the reduction that we did in shrink, but immediately shows the impact on operational efficiency, right? So they've started to leverage the AI beyond the front of the store into other propositions, and they join the likes of Kroger, Meijer, and others that have basically spoken about us. I'll mention another recent one here, and I think there's another question further down that I'll go in more detail, but our partnership with NCR, we just basically announced our product Evershow that's part of NCR's Halo POS, and now we've entered into another vertical, the vertical of convenience store, and operating with a bulk scanning, where this is my basket and 3, 8, 10 items can be dropped down and immediately scanned to walk away, right? The results from the customers, the fact that we're extending in others show you that how we're delivering value, and we're doing so across different retail formats, large grocery to small box to convenience stores. Listen, this was a big decision, and one that took us 2 years to make. Our partnership with Google Cloud, Google Distributed Cloud, supercharges our ability to deliver AI at scale. These are almost the master plumbers in a lot of the retailers, right? They have an infrastructure for cloud that us leveraging it allows us to improve scalability, security, speed of deployment, right? That last one is incredibly important, not only to us, more so to the retailer. When you think about some of this stuff kind of coming together, you have packaged solutions, right? That think about offerings as integrated into the ecosystem of other solutions, not bespoke solutions, right? So we can come in as an intelligent overlay on top of what's happening. If you consider, like I said earlier, Google is the master plumber, then Everseen is the inventor of the Quick Connect that's bringing a new set of data, computer vision, unstructured data to the proposition, so we can tell even better stories about the product, about the impact of those sales, about the consumers that are buying it, about behaviors, etc. Google has tools and technologies and focuses on certain things that we will never, as an ISV that's focused just on being the expert in computer vision. So when it comes down to data, how to get all that information together, I'm looking forward to leveraging things, because we'll be able to tell more concrete, specific stories in the form of delivering data to processes to make decisions, like I said earlier, the next best action that somebody can take, whether that is a vendor, whether that is an associate, or whether that is the shopper themselves. Our recent collaboration with companies like NCR has illustrated our technology's adaptability to a different retail format. In this case, retail convenience stores, where we are the AI inside, enabling bulk scanning, and it's starting with Phillips 66 Mach 1 stores. Think of your last gas station stop. You approach the checkout, you got 5 or 6 items, in your arms, and you just place them down only to see them immediately scanned. You pay, and in under 10 seconds, you're done and headed back to your car. The simple economics of that allows small stores that sometimes run with low or small numbers of employees to effectively become a lot more efficient. This is where you, for all intents and purposes, augmented the current staff with this technology. We have definitely entered the age of agentic AI with the likes of Gemini, OpenAI, Perplexity. Everseen's Vision AI agents is just the next logical evolution of these large language models. So let me simplify what they do with some simple yet very direct action verbs. Everseen's Vision agents see, think, act, and adapt. Consider the checkout scene of our AI today. You approach the checkout, and you're about to pick, scan, and drop an item into a bag. Now, what we have done is we have trained the AI to see you do that and think by comparing what you did to what you were expected to do. If you deviate from the expected way, it's going to act by nudging you through the sharing of a short video where you went wrong, or it's going to completely halt the transaction and alert an associate to come and assist you. So that's your see, think, and act. Now, offline, we have set the vision agents to be value seeking. We have designed them to have agency. What do I mean by that? We are looking to continuously create and add value to every business process. And as such, the vision agent is slowly becoming an autonomous AI-driven tool that can identify and prioritize opportunities to create additional value. So consider that scanning, and let's consider the event of an item left in the basket. The agent is going to go back and go beyond just detecting the shrink, and it's going to identify and uncover inefficiencies that might be caused by scanning fatigue by the shopper or a delayed intervention by the associate. And it's going to recommend a new way to prevent the event of left in basket from ever occurring. It's actually learning to be preemptive. During the see, think, and act steps, it is actually suggesting process improvements and enabling dynamic decision-making. During the adapt step, it's helping us continuously update the algorithms while the retailers get to optimize everything from labor allocation to inventory management, both focused on driving better business outcomes. I'm really excited about this survey. For one reason. It actually asked over 200 AP professionals, asset protection professionals, but at the same time, 1,200 everyday shoppers, how they felt about the same topic. And what I loved about this is, while retailers on the one side, 88% of them, I remember, is one of the numbers, right? Believe that AI is going to be critical for competitive advantage, right? Yet they're concerned about the complexity of implementation and the impact of customer friction. You get to hear the other side, which is, I get why retailers are doing it. My privacy is important, right? And before the friction. So it's actually very cool to be able to use this information to go back into retailers and say, customers are not worried about the friction. They're worried about the privacy of that information before they're worried about friction. So let's make sure that when we're publishing this, when we're training your folks, when we're giving them the opportunity to say, hey, you're about to do something new with computer vision, they have the narrative to engage with a shopper that is getting younger, right? Let's just put it this way. My son shops very differently than me and extremely differently than his grandfather. And he wants and appreciates this engagement with AI. He wants that speed. Maybe in some cases he wants not to interact with anybody, right? The ability to have this technology cater to all these different behaviors and effectively seek to understand how to manage communication to my shopper segments about the friction this is going to cause, the privacy of your information. The way that we're utilizing this is to help retailers communicate their brand value proposition about, I'm always in stock, I'm convenient, I'm now giving you speed and trust in addition to that. And at the end of the day, that's the swinging doors more, right? If I get to come somewhere and enjoy my shopping experience, get what I need when I need it, get in and out fast, I'm coming back, right? So it's all about throughput, and it's all about the reduction of friction from broken processes or lack of attention to detail that we potentially have in manual processes today, or processes that have too much possibility of error. We are on month 16 of providing a robust infrastructure, the localized adaptation that we need, and continuous learning for our own people. We are officially in 4 different continents. There is multiple languages, there's different form factors of equipment, there's different processes, there's gates in one part of the world when you're going into a checkout versus not. So all this stuff had to be kind of adapted to. We have a new SVP of operations that has effectively restructured our team, and we continuously revisit everything that we do, from the way that our teams are structured into the way that we retain our models to ensure that we have this localized think globally, but act locally, if I can say it that way. Our data is localized data and maintains its accuracy in different environments. It has compliance with regional regulations, but at the same time, it fits up to a global barometer so we can know how the item that we're maniacally focused on, shrink, is potentially changing in front of our eyes, so we can be ready to, for all intents and purposes, battle it towards not only mitigation, but also reduction and recovery. Yeah, that's interesting. I was looking at everything from CES this year to NRF, and all the shows seem to be kind of hitting us up here in the first 90 days of 2025. And everybody's talking about autonomous store operations, advanced robotics, and personalized customer experiences using AI. All that's great, and I love it, and I get excited about it, but I stay true and humble and grounded with something I've said through my entire retail career. What, so what, now what? Okay, it's very simple. Retailers have to navigate challenges with data privacy, with ethical use of AI, and with balancing automation with human roles, okay? Successful anything, whether it's integration, deployment, implementation of AI, etc., always starts with a clear strategy, great change management, and choosing partners who basically prioritize responsible AI in this case, and seamless implementation, right? If you don't know what you're solving towards, chances are you're going to succeed. You're going to basically fail, right? So what, now what? I know what business problem I'm going after. I know what data I need to measure success, and I have basically defined the 2 or 3 KPIs that data will help me calculate to ensure that I'm always on the right track. It's simple motherhood and apple pie. It's no different than anything we've ever done in retail. What, so what, now what? With serious attention to detail and constant fear that we've missed something on the ever evolving AI regulation across the world. I told you earlier, we have a very strong commitment to responsible AI. Our models are designed in such a way that are tested for fairness. We work closely with retailers to implement clear governance frameworks for our AI to be explainable. What I love about, I'll give you a quote from one of my retailers. It's not enough for you to detect the loss. You have to recover it and explain to me how you did it. And that's what I love about our technology, right? The ability for us to have a bottom-up story of what your retail shrink is. What is that attributed to? What can you do tomorrow to correct it? Makes this era or notion in technology of a black box extremely colorful. It actually creates a new headache, which is a welcome headache. Could you lift and shift your technology and do this, this, and this, right? When you do something well and you do something transparent, when you're able to explain it, a retailer gets ideas immediately to say, hold on a second, I have a similar problem in this part of my store, in this part of my operations. Could we apply your technology to do that, right? So what I would tell you is transparency is key. We provide full visibility in how our AI makes decisions, and we ensure that the customer interaction, whether that is shopper or our own customer, is respectful and always privacy compliant, right? I won't talk to another retailer about another retailer's data, but I will put them together in an anonymized way so they can use each other as a barometer, as baselines, so they can essentially constantly improve, become better every single day that we're in this fight against shrink. Let me start by saying AI will transform your job today, but it ain't gonna replace it, period. I've been saying this since the late 90s, right? When I entered into the realm of big data that basically promised big insights, and as Brand said, when all we got was big disappointment, right? We thought we were gonna get all this information, we were gonna have all this critical stuff, right? And at the end of the day, people forgot that what you wanted to do is bring the nth player to the field, okay? That 12th soccer player, since I grew up in Greece, I'll use a soccer analogy, right? How do I get that 12th player? You are going to be augmented. You're going to be powered up. You're not going to be replaced, okay? This technology always meant to automate repetitive, non-consuming or time-consuming mundane tasks, and freeing up whoever you are, wherever you are, to focus on the next best job that you should have been doing. That could be greeting customers, ensuring that they had a good shopping experience at the checkout, or finding them in the aisle and asking them what else they can do, what else they're looking for, how can you speed them up, through their transactions or at the store, or ensuring an unattended delivery from a vendor didn't cut you short of a pallet of water for your Wednesday breaking ad, and that went to the store down the street, right? All these things are about putting efficiency and effectiveness on the operations and the sales efforts that we have behind every one of those products, right? And so when I look at intervention fatigue, as an example that I mentioned earlier, right? An associate now can spend more time smiling and greeting as opposed to jumping around and trying to deal with somebody had unexpected item found in the bagging area, right? That was one of the things we wanted to kill. So now the customer can actually self-correct. Customers have optionality on that. They get to increase and decrease the level of friction depending on the cluster of stores we're in. If they have max shrink stores versus low shrink stores, they will choose two different personas for that experience. Forget the cluster of the stores. It might be day part, right? The idea with this technology is you get to basically play with that equalizer and set it up to a tune that makes sense to the business process, to the day part that it is, to the trade area that you're in. So that's what I kind of love about advanced technology in general. It should make us better. And instead of having teeth showing because of cringing the teeth, you're actually smiling and enjoying your job for a change, right? I wish I had some of these tools when I started working in retail back in the day. You know what? Thank you for saying that, because I was gonna try to be nice, and other people have said, "What do you mean start? You should have already started, right?" So what I would say is start small, but just start, period, okay? This does not have to be a massive overhaul. This can begin with you being very targeted on a high impact use case like shrink reduction and checkout optimization. This was our Jerry Maguire moment, right? We went after one of the loudest complained about numbers. I moved from staff lanes to self-checkout, and for every 1% increase in self-checkout, I saw 1 basis point of shrink go up. That was the number that Colin Peacock from ECR and others offered. The new data's coming out this year. I can't wait to see what that number is basically at, right? But at the end of the day, the idea is, you need to think about this tech as an intelligent overlay on top of another system of record. That is a core system called POS, like what we did with EverCheck. It could be your ERP system, your warehouse management system, right? And at the end of the day, choose your partners wisely. And I said partners plural. It's sometimes going to be more than one, right? An Everseen and an NCR, an NCR and a Google, right? We all kind of come together to provide this experience and scalability that we've done elsewhere for you. You should be better, faster, cheaper than the one that came before. That should be your expectation coming in, right? But at the same time, you have to learn from those that embraced early and are already seeing measurable returns. So my advice, call them. Call the other retailers that you perceive to be ahead of you and ask, what would you do differently? Who should I be talking to? What are 3 lessons learned, right? What's one thing about Everseen that you hate? How can I improve it? I welcome that feedback all day long, right? Because rising tides will raise all boats. Period. End of story. Listen, reach out to me directly. Go to our website. You're going to find the right person. Talk to the previous retailers to get the name of the person from Everseen they've loved working with, right? Let's get engaged in a dialogue. We offer discovery sessions where we will come and seek to understand your what and your so what. Okay, as I said earlier. So what are your specific challenges? What is the goal you've put forward to that? How do you plan to measure that? Who are the key stakeholders? How does everybody kind of get involved, right? All of that are incredible ingredients into a very tailored pilot program that demonstrates and measures ROI quickly from the get-go. If there's one thing about us that I'm the proudest of, is speed to value, not speed to market, speed to value. How quickly can you see that this product is returning an investment that you can put back into this product or other products? We will work closely with you on a seamless integration and a clear path for you to scale AI from the checkout to the middle of the store to the back of the store, all the way up to your warehouses.